Hi, Sparrows. Good evening to you, Sparrows. I am Valerie Miller of TVM, the Valerie Miller Double Fold. This very moment, you have opportunity to change. And tonight on this Wisdom Wednesday, we have a phenomenal guest. That is Lisa Woods of Voices in Pink Foundation. And we're going to be talking about triple negative breast cancer. So, welcome Lisa to the room. She should be in momentarily. And we're going to go ahead and get started with this conversation. How are you all today? Hopefully you've had a fabulous Wednesday. So tonight is going to be that conversation where we must listen, pay attention, and take in all of the information that Lisa has to share when it comes to triple negative breast cancer. Welcome to the room, Lisa.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Glad to have you here. And it's such a privilege to have you in the room tonight and talk about something that's extremely important and bringing about awareness that everyone needs to be made aware of. So, how are you doing today?
I am fantastic.
Wonderful. Now, I have shared your name. Well, I have mentioned what we're going to talk about. However, why don't you give an overview of who you are and a little bit about Voices in Pink?
Okay. Well, my name is Lisa Woods, of course, and I live in Houston, Texas area. And last November, when I came home from a business meeting, I got home. It was really, really late, and I simply yawned, and my right hand landed on my right breast area, and I discovered a lump there. And so immediately I became very, very concerned. Throughout the duration of me going through trying to find out through testing and all that stuff, mammograms and biopsies and stuff,
Right.
January 16th, I was diagnosed with triple negative breast cancer. I was stage 2B, and it was I got to tell you, it was sort of devastating to me. I was sort of like a deer in headlights because
I can
no one in
imagine.
my, no one in my family had ever had breast cancer. So I knew people that did, but I didn't have a hands-on, close-up relationship with it at that
Okay.
point.
Okay. So I can imagine it to be shocking to receive that news saying, knowing that your family history didn't have any traces of that. So what
Yes.
was the first thought in your mind? I can't even imagine that. However, we did talk a little while after that
hmm
meeting, you
hmm
know. So share with the Sparrows, what was your thoughts?
Okay. Well, the first thought in my mind was, let me do some research. I'm a research person.
Right.
So, I don't take anybody's word for anything. Let me find out what I can, what will make me be okay with what they're saying to me.
Right.
And upon the research, I found out some very, very seriously devastating things to me. Was that triple negative breast cancer is a cancer that's predominantly uh, attacking Black women,
Right.
and it was started over in Nigeria. And then, so I started researching. The researchers are saying they're trying to compare the strains of the type, the subtype triple negative between the Nigerian women and, of course, African American women.
Right.
And I say predominantly because it's predominantly Black women. And
Mm-hmm.
doctor will tell you that if a Black woman is going to have breast cancer, she's predominantly going to have triple negative, and she's more than likely going to die from it.
Wow.
Now, those are the type things you do not want to hear,
Never.
And so I said, well, you know what? Well, I know whom I serve, and I said we're going to turn this thing around.
Exactly.
So that's where I am with that portion of it right there, Valerie.
Okay. Well, I knew it had to be a little after you were diagnosed. Um, Casual Pits and
Yes.
I had met. We met,
Mm-hmm.
and we were having a business engagement, a call. And
Mm-hmm.
he was late. He was late calling me. So I was ready to rake him over the coals for being late.
That's casual.
That's casual. Always busy, you know,
Yes.
you know, the true entrepreneur. So the
Yes.
thing is,
Awesome
I was
guy.
getting on his case about that. And when he said the reason why he was late, he said, Valerie, I really had to console a friend who really got some devastating news about cancer. So of course I
Yes.
gasped. I gasped and said, you know what?
Yes.
Automatically forgiven. However, who is this person? And he shared, and I said, do you think she'll be open to talk to me? Because I felt compelled to talk to you. Don't know who you are.
Right.
I have no idea, but it just felt in my spirit like the right thing to do. I wanted to talk to you, and he made that
Yes.
happen. So that's how you are here today. But meeting you
Yes.
right after that, I could literally feel what you were going through. It was the most heart heavy thing because you had no idea of what to do. But what we did know was that we believed that you were going to be healed from it. We believed that. We said it in the beginning. And
Yes.
with that being said, and knowing the diagnosis and the strains and how the similarities of Nigerian women in comparison with African American women, and how this particular breast cancer is so prominent, it was news to
Right.
me. I never heard of it before you. Never.
Right.
So
And you know what? I
it's
had
getting the
neither.
news out.
I did not either. Yeah.
It's important because you so happen to yawn and discover it. Suppose you had not yawned at that particular moment, you know?
Absolutely.
So what was the next steps for you?
I'm sorry. Say that again,
I
Valerie.
said, what was the next steps for you after you did your
Right. So the next
research?
steps were. I did my research, and then I just started, communicating with other women. So I joined groups, and I try to get a feel of what I may have to look forward to.
Right,
And so my next steps were just a plethora. Once you find out you have triple negative breast cancer or any breast cancer or
right.
cancer for that matter, your life is not your own anymore.
Mm-mm.
So I was literally had appointments every day.
Wow.
There's some type of appointment you have to go to before you start the actual chemo.
Okay.
Um, so once I got all of that, done and established all of this, I the chemo in and of itself, they call the chemo that you go through for triple negative, they call it the red devil.
Mm.
And I mean, you can even Google the red devil and it pulls it up just like that.
That's atrocious.
And basically, it's a blood.
Okay, you're freezing up on us. You're freezing up on us, Lisa. Hopefully you'll come back any moment now. But just a name within itself, the Red Devil, that that is a terrible name to give anything that you have to give someone when it comes to them having breast cancer. Oh my gosh. Lisa, if you have to drop out and come back in, please do. That's if you can hear me. However, that there is such um, a disease out here, that type of cancer, and is specifically targeted toward African American women. It's not something that you hear about every day. However, it's definitely something that we need to be made aware of on the front end. So, are you really having your breast exams? Are you checking every single month? We have to look at those types of things. What is your health care looking like? Like for Lisa, there was no history of breast cancer in her family. None. None at all. So for this to happen in her life, just all of a sudden, she feel it, it's there. Oh my gosh. Have you checked? Do you check? And this is not just a cancer for women. Men have breast cancer also. That's why I extended the invitation to not just women, but men too. You have to be sure to check yourself, know the status of your health, and do what you have to do in the moments, and in Lisa's case, within seconds of that time. What in the world are you going to do? It's scary. You've never heard of it. You don't have any family that, has any record of it. But now here you are, the first in your family. You're introduced to it, and it's rushing through your body. And like she said, it's not your own anymore. Appointments have to be made in order for you to save your life because the diagnosis are not great. They're not great. You have women who are passing every single day with this particular cancer. So hopefully Lisa will be back in the room in just a moment. She just sent me another invitation, so I'm trying to get her back in here. So it's always going to be some form of a fluke. And we have to be considerate of the storms that are taking place in Houston. So they have a lot of watch and floods and things like that taking place. So let's have a little bit of patience with her in that case. I can't send you another invitation, Lisa. You're going to have to go ahead and invite yourself back in again. I will approve that. My apologies for the delay. But however, we cannot control what happens within internet world. We cannot control that at all. And it's the scariest thing in the world when you're faced with such news. No one ever wants to receive that type of news. No one does. But then to know that it's targeted toward African American women, that was even extra eye-opening for myself when I met Lisa and we really started researching and looking into this. It's been months that it's taken us to actually get her on the show for the simple fact she's been so sick. She's been going through chemo. So every time we plan a show, it was difficult to get her on because of her health and what she was feeling like at the time. So I'm so grateful to have her to show up for Wisdom Wednesday tonight so we can talk more about this particular type of cancer to get the word out there. It's important. If it's something that is going to be that atrocious and taking lives, we have to be mindful of it. Lisa, at the very bottom of your phone, there is a double head silhouette. If you can press that double head silhouette, it's going to prompt me that you're wanting to come into the live, and I'll accept it from my end. Okay? That's if you can hear me. However, it is a wonderful thing. She's contacted me through Messenger. So I'm going to send her a note. Thanks for your patience, Sparrows. Stay in the room. Do not drop out. This is not information you should be missing. Stay here so you can get all of the additional juiciness. This is going to be life-changing for yourself as well as your family members. You never know when and where it's going to strike. So be prepared. Have some information that's already in your arsenal that's going to prepare you for what you could be facing. There she is. You're back in the room. So, honey, you were explaining about the red devil. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Valerie. I just can't see
Okay.
you. That's all.
You can't see me. It could be, are
I
you still
cannot see you.
storming? I can see you.
Ye- Listen, guys, I'm so sorry. It is storming here in Houston,
Yes.
so it's probably screwing with the Wi-Fi and all that good stuff
Right.
that we need to keep going. So please forgive me. It's not me. It's the weather.
It's okay. I threw out that, disclaimer that
Okay.
there's storms taking
Okay.
place in your area. So we have to be a bit
Right.
patient.
Yes.
So you're explaining the red devil and you had to experience
Yes.
that.
Yes, yes, the red devil, because triple negative breast cancer has no targeted treatment. It's the only breast cancer that doesn't have a targeted treatment. So what they do is they give you the harshest chemo medications they can, and they just hope that it works for you. Now, the thing is, if it does work, it will work very well. But if it doesn't work, then it just doesn't work at all.
Right.
And so they have to try other measures and means to help to heal you. And so in my situation, I was on other supplements as well. So me, I'm always for the natural things, and so
Exactly.
I started doing black seed. Listen, black
Yes.
seed is the truth. So I
It
started doing
is.
black seed, and I was taking it like in the harshest form. I said, listen, this is, I don't care how nasty this stuff tastes.
Honey, take
Let's
that
taste,
liquid down. Yes. Get the
you know,
liquids.
right. And glutathione and just all the, started eating better, and
Right.
just, start really caring about health and wellness. But the chemo seemed to work very well. I had so many side effects though, guys. I mean, let me take you through a little bit of what I went through. I started taking chemotherapy. Then I got shingles in my head.
Oh.
My hair fell out after the first treatment on Valentine's Day.
Oh.
On Valentine's Day, it started shedding and it was gone. And so then I started getting what we thought was chemo rash, and I found out it was shingles in my head area, from on the left side to down behind my ear. So I had to stop chemo to deal with the shingles, which was very, very painful.
Wow.
In and of itself. And then after that, I got other side effects of where I had flu-like symptoms. So they had to stop the chemo then. And then after that, my blood pressure dropped. I was literally on my last chemo, and I was in the waiting room waiting for them to call my name for the chemo chair.
Right.
And I was smiling at all these cute little ladies. They were smiling back at me, and then all of a sudden they were no longer there. I had passed out. So going through all the different medications that you go through, those things are meant to help you, but they're also killing off a lot of the good things that you have inside of your body.
Right.
So it's really, really a journey and a challenge going through what I went through, what so many hundreds of thousands of people go through on a daily basis with this. Yes.
It's tough. It's tough. And I can't even begin to imagine that experience, to deal with it all. Then you layer in shingles, and you layer in all of that. And I remember talking to you that day you actually were at the hospital when that took place. I think we probably had a show that day. It was something like that. You thought you were just going to go in and come back out, and it wasn't the case. And you ended up calling or texting about that. But I know your journey has all ended in a very positive way. And due to this, is this where your foundation come from? Can you hear me?
Okay, Valerie, I'm so sorry. You're chopping up really bad. It's just the Wi-Fi right now.
Yeah.
It's a storm. It's not anybody's fault. If you could maybe sort of repeat that again for me.
Voices in Pink. I'm talking about Voices in Pink.
Voices in Pink. Okay.
So gotcha. This is where Voices in Pink came from due to this situation.
Absolutely. Okay. So after all of my research, and I said, well, this is predominantly affecting Black women, but there's not enough Black voices out there. Where are the African American groups? Where are these women? I mean, they have gone through this, and I see a sprinkle of them in some of the Caucasian groups. And mind you guys, triple negative breast cancer predominantly affects Black women, but then next in line would be your Hispanic, your Asian, and then your Caucasian.
Right.
And so, some people don't have some races of people don't have a problem with raising their voices and awareness. And I just think that we need to have more voices in this. And so I started Voices in Pink because I wanted to raise 1 million voices across the nation. To be in touch with what this is. Our daughters, our children, our nieces, just young women all around. In regular, for other types of breast cancer, the doctors tell us, go for your first mammogram at 40 years old or so.
Exactly.
Well, this disease is attacking people as young as in their teenage years.
And you're right.
So if you're not thinking about looking for this right now, you're just living your life and doing your thing and whatever, and you're young and you're not at all thinking about breast cancer, even though if you have it in your family, please, check yourself, do your own self-examinations.
Right.
That's very, very important, because you can be the first to feel anything that's going on. And then after hearing this and knowing that there is a triple negative breast cancer, please, when you talk to your doctors, your gynecologists, whoever you need to talk to about this type of breast cancer, ask more questions. A lot of the times other doctors don't even know about triple negative. When I would go to the emergency room for various things, the doctors would, like 10 would come to my room and ask me questions, because you just be surprised people are generalizing to their own type, their medical field.
Right.
And so if they're not into breast cancer, they're not talking about these breast cancers, And so Voices in Pink, crazy. Like I said, was created to raise millions of voices across the nation and to bring awareness, through information, through support, through counseling, whatever is needed in order for you all to find out what is needed, what you need to really know about triple negative breast cancer.
Okay, so you're saying that a lot of doctors are not familiar with this. They're not familiar, and therefore, so when you're sick or may even need to be diagnosed, they don't even know what to look for in the event you're going to a doctor's office or to an emergency room. That's a problem. That is a problem. So
Right.
with Voices in Pink, what has been the reception in community now that you are spreading the news? What's the reception?
Mm. Okay, I'm trying to hear what you're saying, but it's still a little choppy.
How is it received in community now that you have your foundation and you're spreading the word? You may have to drop out
Okay,
and come
so
in again. What is it like with African Americans in Houston? Because that's where you've started the foundation, right?
okay,
So, how
right.
is it received by other African American women or males, whoever it is that you're talking to? What's happening
Okay.
to spread the word,
Mhm.
to reach
Okay.
that million?
So right, since I have started my, and I'm sorry, I'm just going to ad lib this because I didn't hear a lot of that you said, but I'll go ahead and speak on
Okay.
the foundation in and of itself. Okay, I've had women, people from Africa, to reach out to me since I've started my foundation.
Hmm.
I've had people from all across the world. Tanisha Campbell, she's different people,
Right.
that really want to know more, and they just want to support me because they see me all the time, talking about this,
Right.
and just embracing myself and know that this is not a death sentence for me.
No.
And so we have to live our lives to the very last moment, you know. And so I've had people to contact me who are great supporters of mine, who were supporters of
Great.
women with triple negative breast cancer, men who supported their sisters and who supported their wives, and people who lost loved ones due to this subtype. And
Right.
so it's just been a wonderful experience. And I'm hoping that, my site right now is down because I met someone who said, you know what, we want to create a better site for you. And so they are
Um,
generating a wonderful, they say that what you're doing is very well needed, and we want to be a part of it. So let us do some things for you. And so for
yeah.
pro bono, for no cost, and,
Oh
and
my
it
gosh, that's
originally cost
great.
me right. So, this is going to be an absolutely great opportunity to be involved, be volunteers and things of that nature, to be a part of this, especially if you have not experienced the breast cancer.
Right. So the word is getting out there, and to have individuals who are willing to volunteer and help you get your message out, that is to be commendable. So keep doing what it is that you're doing. And I'm grateful that things have turned around the way they have with yourself. So to date,
Okay.
to date, what is your status? How are you doing? I'm going to type it in Messenger. Maybe you can get it there.
Okay.
How is your status?
I did not hear any of that at all, Valerie.
I'm
It
going to
seems
do
like
it
when you
two
start
ways.
talking, it's just
Yeah,
kind of goes out.
it's okay
Um,
because I'm just texting you at the same time in Messenger. So I'm going to have it two ways of getting the questions into you. Your health
right.
today. How are you feeling? How are you doing?
Okay. So, I'm just trying to turn my ear a little bit so I can hear a little bit of what you're saying to kind of guide me a little bit. But um, like I said,
That's tough.
again, this is like a day that we didn't imagine would be filled with storms and things here. So,
We can't
um,
determine.
you
We
know,
can't determine the weather. We can't
right.
determine
We
the
sure
weather.
cannot. Right. I guess we can. So, um, you know, but nothing will stop me from getting the message out. And so just being here on a platform such as yourself, and like I said, I'm just going off of whatever I'm feeling right now because I didn't really hear what you said.
Right.
But just being on platforms like this, being invited to, your show, The Room, just, valuable, for what is to come for what I'm, my desire is to bring out in Voices in Pink. And so I have a Facebook page, Voices in Pink. That's, just look up Voices in Pink and you'll see a bit of what I'm trying to bring about when it comes to the triple negative breast cancer.
Okay.
I have several invites to come to speak on triple negative breast cancer throughout the end of this year and the beginning of next year. So it's just really been an exciting time. Exciting that I'm a survivor.
Yes.
And I've met so many survivors, and even the ones that are losing loved ones, they need something like this to lean on, because even my story, after life after cancer for me, I found that people don't understand. Even when I was going through the cancer, I felt so all alone at times because everybody comes from different families.
Right.
And so, sometimes people, it's not that they don't want to support you. It's just that they don't know how.
They don't know how.
And right, they don't know how. But still, and yet you don't get any comfort from that, because you're in such need at that moment. And so going through what I went through, I'll call it my black and white period.
Yeah.
You learn how to fight when life loses its luster of colors.
Yes.
You learn how to fight for your life. That's what I did, and what I encourage everyone else to do. Life after cancer for me, that's another section of this, I'm quite sure, but listen, the journey is tough, but you know what? I feel like that I was strong enough to carry it through, and my voice will be a voice that will be able to help so many others to get through as well, because we need that. We need that in our lives. Yes.
Yeah. It's going to be imperative, because it is you, and it's your foundation, and it's up to you
Yes.
to be the strongest voice to lead
Yes.
in this space. And, it can be tough to be in a position to where you need support, you need comfort, and nobody knows how to engage or how to approach you. And in essence, at the end of the day, just be yourself and ask the questions that you'd want somebody to ask you. Be there, be available. Something as simple as that. So that black and white period is a powerful period, because that's where you align with yourself, with your God, and you know that you're going to come out strong on the other side. Then those colors will eventually come back in, because you're setting the tone and you're creating the space that everybody needs to be more comfortable with something that they're not familiar with. That's a scary space to be in. It is. It is. And
Yes.
I wish we
Yes.
could hear better. I'm just talking and you're having trouble hearing me on the other side. It's crazy. However, what else can you share about this particular disease that you would want all your brothers and sisters, all the sparrows out here, to take away today? What would you want to
Well,
know?
yes, be in tune with you, as a woman, or as a man.
Right.
Be in tune with yourself. My health, I feel great. I feel there are things. Let me tell you a little bit about, this is a part of the journey. So let me tell you,
Okay.
when I was first diagnosed, the doctors told me that there was no option for me to have a lumpectomy, that I would have to have a double mastectomy, and more than likely both of my ovaries removed. And so I was living with that throughout the whole duration of the journey.
Okay.
And so towards the end of the journey, after I went through all of the challenges and being sick all the time, it's just like it was crazy. I had God in my life. I have to give God the utmost, tell you. Don't let me start crying on this, because let me tell you something.
Honey.
I'm a sight to see. I'm a sight to see when I'm crying.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something. God showed up and showed out in my life, as He does every
Yes.
single day.
Yes.
And I told God, I said, God, I said, listen, you gave me every part of my body. I said, if it's in your will, for me to lose what you have given me in my creation. I said, whatever's in your will, I'm willing to walk that. I
Okay.
said, but I would love to keep my body intact. I would love to keep it intact, but if it's your will to sustain my life, I will give them up and whatever else I need to give up. The day, the appointment before before surgery, when I
Okay.
talked to my oncology surgeons, when they all walked in,
Yes.
and they said, Miss Woods, I tell you what, you are a miracle walking. You no longer have to have a double mastectomy.
Look at that.
You
Look at
you
that.
are qualified now. I mean, without a shadow of a doubt, more than anyone, for just a simple lumpectomy. And I tell you what, girl, we'll just throw in a reduction and a lip while we're at it. And I said,
Coming
what?
out extra fabulous.
Yes. Yes. And so even when I went for the last biopsy where they put in the little mechanism so the surgeons
Yes.
can go exactly to the, even the doctor there says, do you understand how drastic of a recovery? We don't think you have any cancer. She says, I won't know
Oh,
until we actually do the biopsy. But when
yes.
we're doing the biopsy and doing the little implant, she
Mm-hmm.
says, I think all we're looking at there are the clips that we originally put there. I don't
Wow.
see any cancer at all. She says, and she was holding my hands afterwards, telling me the same thing. I'm saying, this must be really drastic. She's holding my hands with her head held sideways, saying, do you understand? I said, I understand. I understand. And so after the surgery was supposed to take about maybe 3.5, 4 hours, 5 hours
Right.
tops. I was in surgery for over 10 hours. Over 10 hours, I was in
10?
surgery. And when I came out of surgery, I thought that all of the tribes in Africa was beating me in my chest. I tell you.
Oh,
But I've been healing, keeping your breast. A lot of women go through a lot of different things, and let's just talk
right.
about. Let's just be real transparent. A lot of
Please.
women are not able to keep their nipples. They're not able to see if their skin is going to take, if there's all these things that they do, and women have to sometimes go get tattoos and all of that. I tell you what, it
Yes.
was like nothing has happened. The only thing I see is this visible, is this little scarring underneath each breast. But I tell you what, I'm better. I'm better.
Honey.
Now, what comes along with that is the nerve regeneration. The nerve
Okay.
regeneration may stay with me for about 3 years. But let me tell you something. I always tell everybody. I prayed and asked God to let me keep these breasts. And so he's going to remind me for as long as possible that I have them.
Yes.
So
That
I'm having some pains and things like that, but you know what? It's all good because it's just a blessing from God.
it really is that you were able to keep them because usually they're the first to
Yes.
go. And in the research when you shared and we were looking at so much, I did see the pictures where all of the tattoos were in the place of, it's a beautiful thing to be able to preserve and save lives and live without if it comes to that. However, if you're blessed to where you can go through all that you've gone through and then still keep your original breasts that you were
Yes.
born with,
Yes.
that is a
Yes.
blessing.
Absolutely.
It is. And you have
You,
quite a testimony to share because this is really phenomenal. Just knowing that when we met late January or early February to now, to know that in that period of time with the chemo, you've turned around. But then by every stripe, you're
yes.
healed. You knew that going in, just had to be reminded of
Absolutely.
it.
Yes, yes. And let me just say this too. Guys, for people that know me, they know that I always put out these pictures of myself and I'm
Yes,
always smiling and it's just always a happy occasion,
exactly.
but let me just tell you, the reason why I do this, all through my life, people say I inspire them. I always have something inspirational and motivational to say, but
Exactly.
it's more for myself. It's for
Mm-hmm.
myself because the life of going through cancer is not a glamorous life.
Mm-mm.
You know, Believe me, it's not a glamorous life. But the most times, when you lose your hair and you lose your eyebrows and your eyelashes, and you're used to being a woman who likes to look, cute, and
Yes.
you
Yeah.
want to go places, zip, 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 this and that, and so when I lost all of that, and I truly understand now, it's like cancer patients have a certain look.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't, when you see a cancer patient, you don't have to guess that this person has cancer. We
Right.
all look alike, no matter what color, where background we come from, we
Right.
all look alike. We have that look about us. And so someone told me when I walked into, the receptionists and things that are at the oncology clinic, they're my friends. And they told me, say, beautiful. You're so beautiful. And I walk in there and I say, you know what? I said, why am I owning this? So you can't own the cancer.
Right.
You know what? And you can't let the cancer own you.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a journey and a challenge that we go through. But
Yes, it is.
in and of that, I'm still the same woman. I'm still that glamorous. I'm still that, and I'm still Lisa. And so
Exactly.
I learned how to work around all of that. Yes, I have cancer. No, I don't have the eyebrows and eyelashes and all that stuff anymore in the hair. But guess
Right.
what? I can still there's still measures and means that you can do to feel good about yourself on a daily basis and to make
That's
yourself look
true.
good.
That's
Me,
true.
I just did my bald and listen, when I didn't have any hair at all, I embraced that. Last triple negative breast cancer day is March 3rd. And
Mm-hmm.
on March 3rd, I just had my little cute scarf that I'm wearing right now, and things. And I embrace myself. We want to
You
embrace
have
every portion
to.
of life, no matter how harsh it is, because
True.
it's all a part of the strength that's inside of you. It's all part of the makeup of who you are aspiring to be and who you are growing to be along the way in your life.
It sure
Don't be
is.
ashamed of ever anything in your life like that, because you know what? It's still you, and it's going to be a
Yeah.
better you after you come out of
Yeah.
it.
Always better. And it's just, like you said, it's your strength on display. You tap into strength you never knew you had. You didn't know you had that until you were faced with something like this. So I remember that day on March 3rd, we were going to have a special show. It was on a Friday. We were going to have
Yes,
that special show. And then you were so sick, we couldn't do it. We had to cancel it. We canceled that. And so even the secondary time, you were sick again. We had to postpone it. And then today, it was a struggle, but we're here. We did it this time because it was just necessary. I knew for certain, storm or no storm, living through what you've been through was a storm. And now it's a great testimony on the other side. So it's
yes,
necessary to share this information because there's so many people that will be caught off guard and blindsided like you were to not have it in their families. Then all of a sudden, here you are with it. And then type 2 or stage 2, then you have to deal with that at the time. It's scary, but I'm proud of you, very proud because you took it by the horns
thank
and you
you.
didn't let it defeat you. It was some tough days, and I remember both of us on the phone just crying, and just trying to, I'm hearing your story, and then you have to pray and just keep each other, lifted at the time because I knew what you were going through, and I knew it was going to be a rough ride. And here you are, someone I really didn't even know, but just felt like I had to connect with you for whatever that reason was. And here I was at the time, just getting back to Charlotte. And then here you are in Texas. But it's always a beautiful thing how individuals connect, no matter what the reasons are. It's always a way found for angels to connect in spaces for when one needs another. And that's what I feel has
Yes,
taken place with you and I connecting with, the real entrepreneur, Casual Pitts, being that guide in the midst of things. So you never know how you're going to cross paths with somebody else. You don't. And with what you're doing, the things that I'm doing, we made the agreement to just get together and do what is necessary for community to be aware. And a part of that is tonight. So only God knows what's going to be next with this, but I know you're going to do some great things and looking forward to supporting you in it. So, what's next for VIP? That's what I call it. What's next for VIP? Hopefully you can hear me. Is it a delay?
Okay,
Okay.
it is, but I think you asked me what's next for me.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Okay. So I'm listening avidly. Okay. So what's next for me is that I'm going to be coming out with a publication called Unstoppable Me.
Yes.
It's going to be a magazine for people who are going through various types of cancer, but we're going to showcase triple negative breast cancer. We
Right.
don't want to shut out any type of cancer because everyone has a story that's going through any type of cancer that you're going through.
True.
But we want to showcase people and their supporters. And we're going to have a feature of faces, of voices in pink, where we'll have a centerfold of someone for the month or the
Yeah.
quarter who
Yes.
has a phenomenal story and who is not ashamed to tell it.
Great.
We also, I've invited to the Fly Women's first annual conference in Florida next year.
Mm-hmm.
I am their secret guest speaker, and they're excited to have me. I was excited to be asked, and so I'm going to be putting out
Great.
more information on that. So I'm excited about that. I just got a call today from a really good friend, Miss Lewis, who next month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And
Right.
so I've been offered to be in a magazine write up, and also to speak next month, and also come to a support dinner for the breast cancer. And so
Okay.
I'm excited for that. Just things are steady coming, and I'm involved also. I'm National Director of Operations for My Covenant Love, and we have a humanitarian platform, and we're going to be able to support many, many initiatives and to help people to realize and bring to the fore things that they are passionate for. And one of those things, of course, will be Voices in Pink.
Great.
We want to, like I said, do is use the platform to really spread ourselves out there, to let people know, listen, we're here, you have a voice, to have manpower that's waiting by the phones to call, for your particular subtype,
Mm-hmm.
have people that have information on this. And so I'm just want to take the world by storm, and just be a plethora of information, and being able to direct them to the places that they can go to learn more about triple negative breast cancer, Valerie.
Well, I applaud you, and just do what you have to do in order to reach the places you need to reach in order to get the message out there. It's scary to not know. And when there is a place where you can go, all the information you need is in one landing space, then that's going to be really great for anyone who may be diagnosed with this or just need information because they know of a family member or someone that they love has been stricken with it.
Yes.
So I am excited about Voices in Pink and all the things that you are going to be doing. So congratulations on everything that's already in alignment that's going into next year. Rock and
Mm-hmm.
soar in it. Rock and soar in it is all I can say.
Mm-hmm.
So as of right now, since your website is down
Mm-hmm.
and you have a page, is that here on Facebook? Is that
Absolutely.
okay? And it's Voices
Yes.
in Pink, so they can reach you that way.
Yes, they can reach me that way. Guys, you can inbox me. My email address is, if you have a pen handy, is mcl I'm sorry. Excuse me, that's my other. Let me do voicesinpink.com. You can
Uh-huh.
reach me there, or either you can reach me at lisaw@voicesinpink.com. And you can also reach me, like I said, via Facebook. I'm simply Lisa Woods. In my page, again, it's Miss Valerie said there, it's Voices in Pink. You can also
Mm-hmm.
message me through there. It has pertinent information there. I'm
Awesome.
always available. My phone number is 832-702-4367. Again, that's 832-702-4367. Feel free to call me during the day, early evening. I can answer any questions. If you're interested in anything that I have said tonight, that'll be wonderful.
That is great. And she is Central Standard Time, so be mindful
Absolutely.
of that. And if you don't mind, at the end of the broadcast, if you can put that information in comments so that way it's there in the event someone
Yes.
does want to reach out to you. And
Yes.
again, I
Yes.
want to say thank you so much for coming on with us tonight. I'm grateful to have you here and to be able to be a platform to where you can share your information to get something so
Yes.
important out to community. And it's just a blessing within itself to have met you and now see you and see you now, and for the healing to take place within a 9 month
Yes.
period. That is such a
Yes.
turnaround, and that's a story and a testimony to share for anybody because it's record breaking. In reality, it is. And you have so much that you've overcome from day one to present in less than a year's time. That's phenomenal.
Right.
It really is. And like you said, all gratitude goes goes to God, because when you believe that you are healed, you may have to go through some things to test just how well you believe who he is. However, at the end of the day, you get through it, and that rainbow is always a piece, and that's where you are now. So you're being restored. You kept all of your goods and got some extra
Yes.
perks all at the same time. So
Yes.
you rock and store looking fabulous because you never
Thank
look
you.
like the story of where you've been. You never do.
Absolutely.
And to know that, I say Rocket Sparrow. Just do that and be jovial. Catch all the lives you can catch. If you need to come back on TVM on this platform, you're more than welcome to do so, or however we need to connect to make sure that this information is continually been spread in community. And men and women, I don't care, check yourselves. Know your status, know exactly what you're dealing with and what your body is doing and is not doing. And something feels strange, check it out. Don't ignore that. And I'm just grateful that you did, Lisa. So grateful. So is there anything else you'd like to share with the Sparrows before we wrap it up? Anything else you want to share, Lisa? And we did this whole
I'm
show. I know it's on a delay. I know we've done a whole show with a storm in Houston, and we're still trying to communicate to make sure that it's juicy and all the information is shared, Sparrow. So it's just, you never know what's going to happen. As I always say, it's unscripted here. So I do believe Lisa has given her information, so that might be it for her. Is there anything else, Lisa? I'm going to type it.
okay. Well,
I'm going to type
yeah.
it in Messenger.
So,
I've got to do it two
I just want
ways.
to of so happy to be here tonight and glad you had me on, Valerie. So grateful to Casual Pitts for seeing for just the alignment that God put us in for us to make the connection. And so
Yeah.
phenomenal, awesome young man. Just love him like a son. So
Yes.
really appreciate him. He's always looking out for more people than himself. And the same
Always.
thing that you're doing. And God connects all of us together. People that have the right kind of heart, that have put him at the forefront of their lives, and want to do more for others than we do for ourselves. But we
Right.
certainly have to make sure we're taking care of ourselves also, to the best
Yeah.
of our abilities.
Yeah.
So yes.
That's it. That's a mouthful. It is a mouthful. And yes, Casual is that guy. That's why I call him the real entrepreneur. He is everywhere. He's on top of his and everybody else's because he has such a huge heart. And as long as you have a huge heart and you've got God at the forefront of your life, you can only soar in everything that you do. You can only be blessed, and you can only be who you need to be for those who warrant and need what you have to serve. And that's what you're doing. That's what I'm doing. And that's what he's doing also. So that's pretty much it for tonight. And I just want to say big smooches to you
Okay.
for coming on with us. And like I said before, however we need to connect to make sure that the information is being shared, let's do that. Okay. And I want
Okay.
to also thank all the Sparrows for joining us tonight, whether if you dropped in, dropped out. Hopefully you have learned something that you had not known before and you can take with to be mindful for and share with all of those that you do love and care about when it comes to triple negative breast cancer. Don't let it be a surprise
Mm-hmm.
to you as it was to Lisa. This is your life. We only have one. So be mindful of what your health status is. Check yourselves and be mindful to stay healthy. You're going to say something?
Amen.
That's it.
Yes, I just, like I said, just, happy to be here and just everything that you said. I know you're saying some great things. Unfortunately, it's really hard for me to hear you, but I'm agreeing with everything that you're saying on your end, girl. You go.
Darn storm. You know, we can't do anything for the storm.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm telling you. Well, you know what? Just a real quick, like you said, we try to do this 2 or 3 times before. And, it seems like that little enemy wants to come in and get in the way. But you know what? We're doing this anyway. So
Yes,
it doesn't matter. I hope you'll have me on again. I really,
absolutely.
you have a great platform and I really want to support you in what you do and be a part of it
Thank you.
because you're such a voice for so many things and for so many people. And we love you very much. We really do.
Thank you. I appreciate you for that, sincerely. And on that note, I will call you after the broadcast and we'll talk then. However, Sparrows, I want to thank you again for coming in and check yourself, be healthy, live the greatest life you can. And in order to do that, you need to know what your status is. The slightest thing, do not hesitate to have an exam and keep yourself healthy and well. Make the decisions when it comes to your eating, your health, your rest, your
Yes.
self-care. All of these things are triggers to your body. And if you're not treating it well, it's easy for your immune to be down and other things can attack. So be mindful of all of that. And on that note, I'm going to say love without conditions. Always possess a positive attitude and soar in all you do. I love you, mean it. Smooches. Thank you for coming on tonight, Lisa. Thank you, and have a great evening.
Will do. Thank you
Okay,
so much.
you're welcome. Ciao, ciao.